It's family friendly, it's premium, it's the Palisade, Hyundai's flagship 3-row SUV. It's all new for 2026 and it gets a brand new trim. Let's check it out. The Palisade was originally introduced in 2020 for its first model year, and this big Hyundai made some waves in the midsize 3-row SUV market. Now entering its second generation, it can still seat up to 8, but grows in size, gets laden with new tech, and introduces a new XRT Pro trim that we'll check out and maybe even get dirty later. The Palisade not only has an all-new look, but it's now nearly 200 inches long and the wheelbase has been stretched 2.7 inches. It gets a little taller, has a shorter front overhang, brand new front and rear fascias, active air flaps for better aerodynamics, and stacked LED lighting in front and back. The model I'm testing is the top of the line calligraphy grade, so it comes with these fancy 21-inch wheels. In my opinion, this generation of the Palisade is a good looking SUV, a nice long wheelbase, some cool wheels, and I'm loving how the daytime running lights look. But if someone's approaching you, they'll know what direction you want to turn because these turn signals are huge. These are the biggest turn signals I've ever seen. Gigantic. The Palisade will be offered with 2 engine options. What I'll be testing is the naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 that's slightly smaller than the previous generation and produces 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque linked to an 8-speed automatic transmission with standard front-wheel drive and available all-wheel drive. The other option is a first ever hybrid powertrain for the Palisade, combining a turbocharged 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors pushing out a combined 329 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque linked to a 6-speed automatic transmission. The hybrid variant will also be offered in front or all-wheel drive form, but the hybrid Palisade won't reach dealers until early fall of 2025. The engine in this generation Palisade is a little smaller, but it provides adequate power for overtaking, getting on the highway, or passing somebody on this 1-lane highway in Northern California. But it's pretty much on par with the other cars in this segment like the Honda Passport, Honda Pilot, and the Nissan Pathfinder. And the brakes, they're a little squishy on the top of the pedal, but they're progressive and they're predictable. They won't surprise you. Fuel economy for Palisades with the internal combustion engine is estimated to be up to 21 miles per gallon in combined driving for front-wheel drive models and 20 miles per gallon for all-wheel drive. Towing capacity comes in at 5,000 pounds for both drivetrains, and Hyundai now offers an available factory-installed tow hitch behind the bumper with a self-leveling rear suspension for towing and comfort that actually comes standard. If you're willing to wait on the hybrid Palisade, Hyundai is expecting it to achieve up to 34 miles per gallon combined, but it can only tow up to 4,000 pounds. The suspension is doing a great job at providing a nice, smooth, supple ride. It's soaking up all the bumps and there's no jarring motions coming into the cabin. But when you are going into corners, keep in mind this still is a large vehicle, so it may feel a little bit rolly, like going into this corner. Yeah, it can feel composed, yeah, sure. But if you're going into a sharp corner like this one coming up, oh yeah, that V6 sounds so good, doesn't it? Well, yeah, don't make your rear seat passengers sick because it could roll just a little bit. But it's a good driving experience, and the steering is pretty spot on. It's stable on center, nice and precise, and it has a good weight to it. And if you want to change up some driving characteristics of this Palisade, there are drive modes like Eco and Sport. And if you do throw it into Sport, it changes up the throttle mapping, and it also adds a little bit of weight to the steering to give you a sportier driving experience in your big 3-row midsize SUV. But if you do opt for an all-wheel drive model Palisade, you also get added terrain modes like snow, mud, and sand. And that optimizes its all-wheel drive system, keeping you just a little bit safer. The second generation Palisade also brings some welcome added technology. There's a standard 12.3-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air updates. Sadly, the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster is not included on the base model, but 100-watt capable USB-C charge ports in all 3 rows does come standard. The cabin is very spacious, uses a good mix of premium materials, and has an upscale vibe. The tech in here looks great. The gauge cluster is very simple, it's easy to work, configurable, and it gets the job done. It gives you all of your important information right up front. The head-up display is nice and clear in this calligraphy model, easy to read. And this infotainment screen, it's the right size, it's snappy, relatively intuitive, but I gotta say the navigation, the native navigation in this screen is a little bit outdated. It would be nice for them to use a better voice because it sounds very robotic.
Turn left onto Canyon Road.
And the screen itself, it just looks a little bit, it has a lot of information coming at you. And I want to also add, there's not a lot of gloss black in here, which is great. The infotainment screen does not integrate the HVAC controls in there. They're down here, and it doesn't have a gloss black control. It's pretty much physical buttons, but kind of digital physical, but it's not gloss black. It's gonna age well. No gloss black on the Windows switch gears, which is great, and no gloss black on the dash. Yeah, this looks nice and premium. You don't need that gloss black. Other manufacturers, please take note. But I'm glad the HVAC controls are easy to work. But if you want to access the massage function for this chair, yeah, you might have to go into the infotainment system. Other than working the massage seat controls that apparently are only for the driver, the infotainment screen can also be used to fold down the rear seats as well. A very convenient feature for those inclined to stay inside the vehicle and enjoy the Palisade's comfortable seats. The model I'm testing even has Napa leather seating surfaces and relaxation mode in both the front and second rows. In the driver's seat, you'll be very comfortable. I'm 6'4", I have plenty of headroom, some great leg room. This seat can even go farther back on its tracks, and my view of the road looks great. The steering wheel, I wish it did come out just a little bit further, but that's just my taste. And you have soft inboard and outboard armrests, and this floating center console is meant to mimic a sofa, so it looks nice, it's very comfortable, and it also has this ledge to make your inputs for the HVAC controls. Very thoughtful. And inside here, there's not a lot of space, but there's a UVC sanitizing station, so you can get rid of all those bad germs on your kids' toys or your phone or whatever has all the nasties on it. Pretty thoughtful feature. But one feature they did skimp out on is a sunglasses compartment, and yeah, that's totally fine because there is space below this floating console because your shifter is column mounted, and that's also where you'll find the engine start stop button. So if you're looking for it over here, it's right up here. And there's also a small cubby on the passenger side, so if your passenger wants to store their phone, glasses, or whatever they have with them, they can just put it right there. Some good practicality in here. And the back seats, there's no surprise there. Those are comfortable too. But to demonstrate, I'm gonna grab my very own coworker, Eric Brandt, KBV's editor. Take it away, Eric.
The 2026 Hyundai Palisade got a little bigger on the outside, which means it's also bigger on the inside. And we've got a great second row here. Plenty of room, nice materials, and a lot of nice features. We've got USB-C ports built into the front seats right here. You've got your HVAC controls up here, and in this calligraphy trim, you have heated and cooled second row seats. And there's one safety feature that I love. Check this out. There's a little blind spot monitor built into the door so you can see if it's safe to exit the car if there's traffic next to you. Now let's check out the third row. Like a lot of three-row SUVs, there's one button right here to fold the second row forward so you can climb into the third row. It takes a little bit of patience with this one, but with the redesign, you've got a couple more handles here, making it easy to climb in the back. And this generation has more room in the third row than before. My knees are up a little bit high. I'm an even 6 feet tall, so this third row is okay for adults and great for kids. Plenty of headroom, and another thing I love, power sliding and power reclining third row seats. You don't see that every day. And you've even got heated third row seats back here, plenty of cup holders, more USB-C ports, making this a great family car.
Thanks, Eric. Behind the third row, there's also more space for your stuff with 19 cubic feet to work with and some underfloor storage as well. Fold down the third row for 46.3 cubic feet, and with both second and third rows folded, there's up to 86.7 cubic feet of space. More space for people and cargo, I love it.
So you already know that the Hyundai Palisade got bigger for the 2026 model year, which means a bigger interior. But let me show you this panel of buttons back here where you can control your configuration of seating and cargo capacity. You push this button here, now you're controlling the third row seats. You can slide them back and forth, you can fold them down. You hit that button, now you're controlling the second row seats, and you can slide those back and forth and fold them down, all from this panel of buttons. And what I love is that there's one switch to fold down all of the back seats to maximize your cargo capacity. So that's a lot of buttons in the cargo area, but they're useful buttons.
This new generation sees improvements in ride quality as well. The suspension has been upgraded, there's use of better materials for the strength of the frame, and there's more sound absorbing material. Even without an adaptive suspension or air suspension, the ride of the Palisade teeters on luxury territory. The cabin of this Palisade is great. It's nice and quiet, not a lot of road noise coming in. It's a very serene and relaxing place to be. And at nighttime, it's even better because it's ambient lighting. Clearly you can't see it right now because it's very bright outside, but feels like it has a great fit and finish. And some people may say, well, every car should have a good fit and finish. You would be surprised at how other new cars feel on some of the trim, especially on the door panel or just up top. But this all feels nice and premium, which is great. And there's good visibility all around over both of my shoulders and going straight forward and behind me. And if you have this car packed full of people or things, there's even a digital rear view mirror just in case you need to see out the back. Oh my goodness.
Continue on Current Road for about 2 miles.
Okay, robotic voice. Adding to your sense of safety is Hyundai's standard Smart Sense suite of driver assist tech, which includes blind spot warning, forward collision assist, rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking, and smart cruise control with highway driving assist. Some additional features like a surround view monitor, that head-up display, and highway driving assist number 2 are available as options and standard on higher trims. One cool available safety feature are integrated dash cams for the front and the rear, which capture roughly up to 4 days worth of footage. And that's great because a lot of people, when they buy a new car, that's one of the first things that they do. But Hyundai, they offer it straight from the factory, no wires hanging or anything. So this Palisade is a great commuter and it can crush some miles, but let's see if it can crush this off-road course in the XRT model. The second generation Palisade introduces its first ever XRT Pro grade for those seeking some off-road adventuring. It includes a unique front grille with black accents, red recovery hooks front and back, 18-inch wheels wrapped in all-terrain tires, standard all-wheel drive with an electronic rear limited slip differential, 8.4 inches of ground clearance, improved approach, departure, and breakover angles, and of course, an XRT Pro badge. So I've made it to the off-road course in the XRT Pro, driving through these beautiful vineyards in Northern California, which is cool. I would have liked to see how this performs on regular pavement, just to see if these all-terrain tires are loud or if it intrudes into the cabin. My suspicion is they probably don't as much, but I get to take this through its paces on a little bit of some off-road grittiness. Let's check this out. And even before getting up to some of the technical stuff, this still feels very comfortable. It's soaking up these bumps. It feels good, even on this gravel. So right off the bat, this trail is narrow, but the cool thing about this XRT Pro trim is that speeds under 5 miles an hour, this camera pops up and it shows you where you are relative to the road. So yeah, if you need to scoot over a little bit, like right now, yeah, it tells you scoot over just a tad. And also, it's a pretty steep cliff to my left. Using this camera, especially the forward-facing camera, it lets me know where my wheels are, it lets me know where it's safe, and it lets me know how to keep pushing onto this trail. Yeah, this thing is a very useful feature. And I'm kind of glad I didn't put my action camera on the right side because that bad boy would have been scraped off already. So the engineers told me in these conditions, the sand mode works well. And you also have a couple other terrain modes like mud. And when you put it into mud, just keep in mind that your downhill brake control turns on automatically. So if you don't want that, be sure to turn it off. And it's great that the XRT Pro model has extra ground clearance because there's no underbody protection on the production models coming out. Maybe they'll come out with some in the future, and maybe it's on their list of things to do, but be careful with that. You don't want to scrape up or damage your important bits under there. So again, going over that crest, this camera system is doing a great job at keeping me safe on this trail. And even if you want to see your pitch and roll, you can do that in real time. It shows you your tire pressure, pitch and roll, oil temp, transmission temp, engine temp, all the things, making sure you're not overheating and going over the cliff. This is very narrow. I got a nice clear backup camera, the top down camera. Give it a little bit easy on the throttle. I got the beeps, I got him. I got yeah, hold it. All right, cool. Okay, Mr. Spotter-Man, if you see this video, you did a great job, but I think the Palisade's cameras did a great job as well. So even if my spotter wasn't there, yeah, this definitely handled some business. So right now I got this big hill in front of me. I was instructed to put this in mud mode. Let's see how this Palisade XRT Pro trim does. And yeah, he said go about 10 to 12 miles an hour, foot on the throttle. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Easy work, come on. One of the things I'm kind of bummed out about is on the XRT trim, you can only get the interior seats in black. It would have been cool to have a nice brown color or just something a little different. But, I mean, take what you can get, right? So the XRT Pro model shows me that if you want to take this Palisade off the beaten path and do some light duty off-roading, or maybe even just go on a nice trail, you can do that. And with all the other models, if you want to be a highway warrior and crush some miles, you can do that. But now let's see if this new Palisade is going to crush your bank account. Let's check out some pricing. A base Hyundai Palisade front-wheel drive SE trim with the 3.5-liter V6 begins at $40,430, which reflects destination. But if you're eyeing the trail-ready XRT Pro model that only comes with the V6, that price starts at just under $51,000. And for the fanciest calligraphy grade, that price begins at $57,555. If you're going for more power and efficiency, the Palisade Hybrid will start just over $45,000.
So if you're in the market for a 3-row SUV like this 2026 Hyundai Palisade, make sure you're doing your research and finding the fair purchase price on KBB.com.
This is why you wanted my mic, KBB.com. Click that link above for more details. Disrespectful. There's plenty of competitors in this mid-sized 3-row SUV market, such as the Honda Pilot, Nissan Pathfinder, Toyota Grand Highlander, and don't forget about the Kia Telluride, which should be due for a new generation sometime soon, and also has an off-road oriented X Pro model. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade will be built in South Korea, with the V6 models arriving at dealers now, and as stated before, hybrid models expected in fall. This new generation of the Hyundai Palisade may have a slightly smaller internal combustion engine, but it still makes the same power, has a hybrid variant coming, plenty of space, plenty of safety features, plenty of tech, plenty of style, and it also has an XRT Pro trim to take this off the beaten path. And if all that sounds good to you, check out the Hyundai Palisade for yourself.